Welcome to the Get Trauma Informed podcast, dedicated to unraveling the complexities of trauma, its pervasive impact, and the journey towards holistic recovery and realignment. If your radiance has ever felt muted, like I and thousands of others, you're in the right place to reignite your inner light. I'm your host, Wellness Coach Liz Blanding, and this is the Get Trauma Informed podcast. Forgive and forget, they say. Have you ever been told that? Maybe by a pastor or a family member or a friend who didn't understand the depths of your pain. They said, you've got to forgive them if you want peace. But inside you thought, how do I forgive someone who never said sorry? Today we're going to talk about the difference between forgiveness and reconciliation, because God calls us to freedom, not foolishness. Foolishness releases you. Reconciliation requires their repentance. Welcome back to the Get Trauma Informed podcast. I'm your host, peer-to-peer wellness coach Liz Blanding. And this episode is episode 6 of our mini trauma recovery talks on trauma and domestic violence. We've learned what trauma is: exposed emotional and spiritual manipulation, talked about breaking trauma bonds, reclaiming identity, and reconnecting with the body through breath and spirit. Now we're going to talk about forgiveness, not as a pressure, but as a process. Because forgiveness is about your recovery, while reconciliation is about their behavior. Let's start by clearing up the confusion. Forgiveness is letting go of the emotional hold that offense has on you, that an offense has on you. Releasing resentment so it no longer poisons your heart. Choosing peace over bitterness. Forgiveness is not forgetting what happened. It's not about excusing the abuse, and it's not about re-entering a dangerous or toxic relationship. Forgiveness sets you free. Reconciliation requires accountability, change, and safety. You can forgive someone in your heart and still keep the door locked. Galatians 3:13 says, bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you have a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. When God forgives, he restores relationship. Only, listen to this, only when repentance is present. That's what the cross teaches us: mercy and justice together. And Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Guarding your heart is not unchristian, if you will. It's wise. It means you've learned from the pain and you're choosing boundaries over bondage. This episode connects the advancement of the phase of the bottleneck breakthrough method. It's called advancement. Once you've aligned with truth, you must learn how to move forward without guilt. Forgiveness is the act of advancement. It unblocks the flow of peace in your life. Here's how to practice it safely. Number 1, acknowledge the hurt. Pretending it does not or it did not happen keeps you stuck. Name it honestly before God. Number 2, release the judgment. Say, I give this person to you, Lord. You are the righteous judge. That removes the weight from your shoulders. And number 3, reset your boundaries. Forgiveness doesn't mean access. You decide who deserves proximity to your peace. Forgiveness is a spiritual detox. It clears the residue of resentment so healing can flow. Even Jesus practiced boundaries. He forgave his accusers, but didn't chase them down for reconciliation. He told his disciples, "Shake the dust off your feet," when people rejected them. Mercy doesn't mean returning to the scene of the crime. It means walking away without carrying the bitterness with you. Ephesians 4:31 and 32 says, "Get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as Christ forgave you." That's the kind of forgiveness that frees the forgiver. I'm going to repeat that. That's the kind of forgiveness that frees the forgiver. Here are some simple ways to walk forgiveness out. Pray for peace, not reconciliation. Ask God to claim your heart and clarify your steps. Write a release letter. You don't have to send it. Let your pen hold what your heart has carried. Bless your furniture, your future. Bless everything around you. So when we bless those things around us, right? Our future thoughts, our peace, bless it. So we do that instead of focusing on somebody's wrongs. Declare your next right. How does that sound? How does that feel? Each of these tools release emotional clutter and make space for joy. As we continue reflecting and journaling together, ask yourself, what am I still holding that belongs to God? And what would it look like to forgive without forgetting the lessons? Write this in your Pathway to Trauma Recovery journal. Pray over it. Then take one breath, slowly, one deep, slow breath. Exhale the pain, inhale the peace. If this message spoke to you today, you can continue your journey with the resources that walk beside you every step of the way. The Pathway to Trauma Recovery, the book, teaches and gives real life examples of what renewal and emotional release looks like. The Pathway to Trauma Recovery journal for a safe reflection and closure practices. In all things recovery, Patreon community, faith-based weekly reflections, and access to guided recovery sessions. You're not forgiven to excuse. You are forgiving to be free. Forgiveness breaks the chains around your heart. Boundaries keep them from being reattached. You can forgive them. You can love them from a distance, and you can move forward, recovering whole and held by God. We are recovering one breath at a time. Give yourself grace and stay fearless. Bye for now. It's time to buckle up. No more suffering in silence. Our Power Pack journey to recovery and realignment starts now. Remember, you were collateral damage on someone else's warpath. Trauma is not your fault. Recovery, however, is your responsibility. I'm your host, Wellness Coach Liz Blanding, and this is the Get Trauma Informed podcast.